There's a famous experiment in game theory called the dollar auction. Imagine a room full of smart, rational people. An auctioneer holds up a $1 bill and says, "I will sell this dollar to the highest bidder." But there's only one rule. The winner gets the dollar. But the second highest bidder still has to pay their bid, but they get nothing. You can imagine this would start fun. People bid 5 cents, 10 cents, because why not? It's free money, right? But eventually, the bidding's going to hit 99 cents. Someone bids $1, and now they're breaking even. But the person who bid 99 cents is now stuck, because if they stop, they lose 99 cents and get nothing. So they bid $1.05. They're now paying more than the dollar is worth just to avoid losing what they already put in. And this usually keeps going until the bids hit $3, $4, or $5 for a single dollar bill. Smart people destroying themselves to protect a bad investment. This isn't just a game. This is your life. This is the reason you're still in a career you hate. It's the reason you're still in a marriage that has been dead for 5 years. It's the reason you defend habits that are killing you. You're bidding $5 for a $1 bill because you are terrified to just walk away from the table. Today, we're breaking you out of the sunk cost prison. Now, before we attack the specific traps in your life, we need to understand the machinery. Why do we do this? Why do rational men who know they're unhappy choose to stay unhappy? Ultimately, it comes down to loss aversion. Psychologists have proven that the human brain feels the pain of loss twice as intensely as the pleasure of gain. If you lose $100, that hurts twice as much as finding $100 would feel good. And evolutionarily, this makes sense. If you're a hunter-gatherer, losing your food supply means you die. But gaining extra food is just a luxury. So we are wired to protect what we have, even if what we have is garbage. This is why you stay in the system failure that I talked about last week. You know the system is broken. You know the job is killing your soul. You know the drinking is ruining your liver. But those things are knowns. In a sense, you possess them. To change means you have to lose them. And your primitive brain screams, "Don't let go." You're fighting millions of years of biology that tells you to cling to the wreckage rather than swim for the shore. So, also, side note, really quick, I've been battling a sore throat for the last week. So if you're wondering why I sound like Barry White, it's because I'm powering through and determined to still be here, give you this value, be of service, and be a man of my own word. So I appreciate you powering through this with me as you listen. And yeah, so anyways, how does this manifest in the modern man's life? From my experience and my knowledge, it usually shows up in 3 specific sunk cost prisons. And I really want you to listen to these and try to identify which cell you're currently living in. And grab some water. Okay. So trap number 1, the golden handcuffs. And a lot of the times, this is probably your career. This is the most common one that I've seen, especially in high performers. I had a client named Matthew. He was 45 and was a partner at a law firm. He was making phenomenal money, but he was miserable. He was 40 pounds overweight, barely saw his kids, and had panic attacks almost every Sunday night. And I just bluntly asked him one day, I said, "Matthew, why don't you leave? You have enough savings. You could start your own consultancy, or you could teach, or something else." And he looked at me and said, "Cusio, I spent 20 years getting to this office. I survived the 80-hour weeks. I survived the internships. If I leave now, all of that suffering was for nothing." That's the lie, though. He thinks that by staying and suffering more, he somehow validates the past suffering. He's throwing good time after bad time. And if you're staying in a job solely because of how long it took you to get there, that's not success. You're a hostage of your own history. Trap number 2 is what I refer to as the ghost identity. This is the guy who is holding on to a version of himself that doesn't exist anymore. Maybe in your 20s, you were the party guy. You were the one who could close the bar down. That was your social currency. But now you're 40. Your body can't handle the booze. And your priorities probably and hopefully have shifted. You want to be sharp for your business. But every Friday you still go out. You still drink the heavy IPAs. You still act like a fool. Why? Because you've invested decades into that persona. You're terrified that if you stop being the fun guy, you'll all of a sudden become the boring guy. So you keep paying the sunk cost of your health to maintain a mask that doesn't fit anymore. And the third trap is the roommate marriage. And I'm not married. I haven't been married, but I've worked with a lot of married men. And this is probably the hardest one to talk about. This is the relationship where the intimacy died years ago. You don't fight, but you don't connect. You just kind of coexist. You manage the logistics of the kids and the mortgage. And again, you know it's broken. You know you're modeling a loveless dynamic for your children, but you remain in the pattern. You don't go to therapy. You don't have the hard conversations, but you also don't divorce. Again, why? Well, we've been together 15 years. We have history. History isn't a reason to stay in a burning building. History is just a record of where you've been. It's not a map of where you want or must go. And there's a phrase I hear men say that drives me absolutely crazy. They say, I have to stick this out to make it worth it. But let's just call it what it is. You can't fix the past. The time you spent in the wrong career is gone. It's dead capital. The money you lost in a bad investment is gone. The emotion you poured into the toxic relationship is gone. You can't make it worth it by suffering longer. The only way to honor the time you lost is to stop losing more of it. If you're walking in the wrong direction, turning around isn't a waste of the walk. It's the only way to save the destination. So how do we break out? How do we actually walk away from the table? We'll use a mental model called zero-based thinking. And I want you to do this with me right now. Close your eyes unless you're driving. Please don't fucking close your eyes. Do this later. Imagine a fire burns your life down right now. The job, the title, the reputation, the habits. It's all erased. You wake up tomorrow morning with a blank slate. No history, no sunk costs, no expectations from anyone, but you have all your current knowledge and none of your current commitments. I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. Knowing what I know now, would I apply for my current job? If the answer is no, why are you fighting to keep it? Knowing what I know now, would I start dating my partner today? If the answer is no, you need to either fix that dynamic immediately or end it. There is no middle ground. Knowing what I know now, would I choose my current daily routine? Would you choose to eat the way you eat? Would you choose to scroll on your phone for 2 hours? If you wouldn't buy your current life today, you have to sell it now. You are only keeping it because you're afraid to admit you made a mistake. The resurrection mindset is about ego death. The sunk cost fallacy is pure ego. It is your ego screaming, I can't be wrong. I didn't waste 10 years. But you have to kill that voice. You have to be willing to look in the mirror and say, I went the wrong way. I made a mistake. But that is okay. Those 10 years weren't a waste. They were tuition. You paid a high price to learn what you don't want. You paid a high price to learn that the corporate ladder is empty or that the party lifestyle is hollow. Cool. You paid the tuition. You learned the lesson, hopefully. Now graduate. Don't sit in the classroom for another fucking decade. Here's your protocol for this week. We're approaching the end of the year. This is the time for audits. I want you to find one sunk cost in your life and cut it. Start small if you need to. Is it a project you're working on that's going nowhere? Kill it. Is it a subscription you don't use but keep just in case? Cancel it. Is it a friendship that drains you? Stop texting back. Practice the art of the cut. Feel the pain of the loss. And then feel the massive relief of the freedom that comes right after it. Prove to yourself that you are not a prisoner of your past. You are the architect of your future. But you cannot build the new house if you are too busy propping up the ruins of the old one. If you're listening to this and you realize you are drowning in sunk costs, if you realize you've been sliding every weekend because you hate the life you've built, you need a stabilizer. Go to my website, download Protocol Zero. It is the 48-hour survival guide. It will help you stop the bleeding so you can clear your head and make these hard decisions for yourself. Stop bidding on the dollar. Walk away from the table. I'll see you in the trenches.